For the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Brittney Griner was caught on tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark, and pretty obviously doing so.
What do you call it when Brittney Griner and A'ja Wilson stroll into the WNBA like it's their private empire? A full court press of entitlement wrapped in a warm blanket of "we're above the rules." Is it corruption, nepotism, or just Olympic-level diva behavior? Whatever it is, it's morphing the league into a soap opera with bad scripts and vanishing viewers. The drama's high, the accountability is low, and the egos off the charts. Buckle up, because this isn't basketball anymore. It's reality TV with sneakers, and the stars think they're untouchable. Spoiler, the audience isn't buying it.
By sports reporters, well, it seems that the WNBA is, well, we know it's not a serious league, but it seems like maybe they are trying to hide something. They certainly do not want anybody with an opposing viewpoint covering their league. Now, mind you, this is a league that's never turned a profit. This is a league that, even with Caitlin Clark having joined this league last year, lost $40 million. Now, they got a new media rights deal coming, and that's going to bump up to about $220 million a year. But even that won't matter if something happens and Caitlin Clark's ratings disappear.
Brittney Griner is turning into the WNBA's walking version of chaos theory. If chaos came in size 17 sneakers, stood 7 feet tall in braids, and had a backstory better suited for a Netflix true crime special than a Hall of Fame plaque. Fans aren't gripping their popcorn in anticipation anymore. It's straight-up survival mode. When Griner steps on the floor, it's not basketball. It's a high-speed collision course in sneakers. Forget strategy or finesse. This is demolition derby disguised as a sport, and every player around her knows it. One wrong move, and it's lights out.
In a viral clip, after she made a foul play, Griner appears to mouth something rather controversial. It might be, though we don't know, trash and possibly white girl. Others have suggested it might be trash and whack call. We don't know what she's mouthing, but she seems to, have a mouth on her and not exactly be in the gratitude space. Griner herself hasn't commented. Now, why is that?
And now, it's not just fouls stacking up, it's the outrage, the backlash, and a digital tsunami of fans demanding a full-scale WNBA boycott. We're way past casual fandom now. These folks have transformed into part-time lawyers, cultural watchdogs, and unpaid league investigators. Why? Because someone has to stop this circus from burning itself to the ground. When the audience cares more about accountability than the league itself, you know the chaos isn't just on the court. It's in the foundation.
I don't know for sure what was going on with what cameras caught Brittney Griner saying on the bench after she had fouled out against Caitlin Clark's Fever in Atlanta. I waited to comment on this until the WNBA was able to investigate it. I wanted them to issue a statement about it, but we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing. And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find...
Let's be real, Brittney Griner's off-court resume doesn't exactly scream WNBA role model of the year. That infamous Russian detour? Less inspirational journey, more geopolitical saga gone wrong, starring a vape pen and a whole lot of bad decisions. While the media tried to spin her return as some triumphant red carpet way comeback, plenty of fans were left scratching their heads asking, hold on, we're celebrating this? Because when your off-court headlines read more like a rap sheet than a highlight reel, the title of league ambassador starts to feel more like satire than honor.
I wanted to talk about this man, because she is a man. He is a man. Okay, so Kim, you put this in the chat to talk about. Do you know the context for this Brittney Griner video here?
Oh, other than her just being a ridiculous bitch?
What the hell is her problem? Like, she has been handed
you know
the
what
world.
happened? She was handed the most privilege that she.
Oh, baby cough.
She was handed the most privileged situation in the entire world. We literally traded a war criminal for her worthless ass.
If you asked the average WNBA fan today what Brittney Griner brings to the league, they'd probably say a sense of dread and a dash of felonious energy. It's not just her prison stint that's making people side-eye her presence. It's her aggressive style of play. The elbows that seem to have GPS coordinates targeting opponents' faces, the flailing limbs that look more like weapons of mass intimidation, and the stare-downs capable of curdling milk all contribute to her reputation as a physical force. Watching Griner on the court now feels like tuning into a slow-motion episode of Cops, where the sirens are whistles and the suspects are just trying to run a pick and roll. But the real issue is the questions she's sparking. Questions no sports league wants to hear. Is this even a fair matchup? Should she even be in this league? Are we watching women's basketball or a one-woman blitzkrieg? The murmurs have turned into loud roars, with fans pointing out that when her physicality resembles that of an NFL defensive lineman rather than a typical WNBA player, there might be a deeper problem to address. Adding fuel to the fire, there are reports that Brittney has made condescending remarks hinting at racial undertones during her interactions. Because why just elbow someone when you can also throw in some unnecessary condescension?
Broke her ankle.
No, not at all.
She threw herself on the floor.
This is theatrics. This is a theatrical production. She throws herself on the ground.
And they gave her like
oh my God,
one of
the
the biggest foul
just
calls.
emanated off of her and made me fall onto the floor.
Wow.
I fell
Maybe
under the weight
had
of my Great Depression.
maybe fingertips, but that's it.
That's
This
why
is
Caitlin
some
Clark freaked
shit
out. She's
LeBron
like, are
would
you
do.
kidding me? I didn't touch her.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't even touch her, and they keep doing this to her. There was like a big fiasco going on with her and Angel Reese again, and like Angel Reese threw herself on the floor last week, and everyone was saying that Caitlin Clark threw her on the floor, and she didn't even barely even touched her. But then they can literally shove Caitlin Clark to the ground, and don't get called. The foul doesn't get called. So you want to tell me it's not a black and white issue? It's obviously.
That's right. Bullying rookies seems to be the new WNBA bingo this year, and Brittney Griner is going all out. Caitlin Clark, heralded as the league's bright future, didn't just face a tough introduction. She got the full Griner treatment: dismissiveness, hostility, and microaggressions. Or was it macro? You'd think the league would step in. Rules, officials, standards. Those things that once maintained order in professional sports. But instead, it's as if referees have vanished into witness protection. No one's willing to say, hey, maybe dial down the MMA-style tactics. Instead, this powder keg is allowed to fester, daring someone to light the fuse. Fans aren't pretending it's okay anymore. They're not just booing from the stands. They're canceling season tickets and lighting up social media like it's Independence Day. But this isn't just about one player. Brittney Griner is merely the tip of the iceberg. The WNBA's culture issues are spilling over, tarnishing what could be a new golden era. With rising stars like Caitlin Clark injecting fresh energy, this should be a celebration, a renaissance. Instead, we're stuck amid old-school bitterness, street ball hostility, and locker room entitlement that makes college fraternities look tame. The league's reputation is at risk, and unless it addresses these deeper problems, the future might look very different from what fans hoped for.
Flag you. Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick! Thank you! Get the hell out of here, yo! Yo! Jab stepping, it's a brick. Swing and a miss! Oh! Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
A'Sia Wilson, Griner's frequent co-star in this ongoing soap opera, isn't exactly helping the situation. She's standing shoulder to shoulder with the entitlement crowd, almost handing out backstage passes to the pity party. Instead of welcoming new talent and seizing the opportunity to elevate the league, they're guarding their territory like it's Fort Knox, perceiving the rising stars as threats to their legacy. It's less welcome to the league and more stay in your lane, rookie. Meanwhile, Brittney Griner has forged her own path, somewhere between a WWE heel turn and a villainous reality TV character. You never quite know if she's about to throw down a dunk or lay someone out with a body slam. Either way, you brace for impact. While this makes for eye-cocking highlights, it also sends a troubling message that skill and finesse are secondary to intimidation, that muscle and aggression define dominance. The league seems to be okay with this approach for now, but fans aren't. They're louder than ever, demanding fairness, accountability, and a sport where sportsmanship still matters, even amid fierce competition. Fans are tired of watching players get steamrolled under the guise of competitive spirit, tired of Caitlin Clark being treated like an outsider instead of the breath of fresh air she truly is. They want a league that champions respect, skill, and integrity, something that seems increasingly lost in this high-octane, confrontational atmosphere.
And it's just a big commotion. So I was just letting the fans just kind of relax. Like we're not here to hurt anyone. It's a basketball play, and that's what it's going to do. We're going to continue to make basketball plays, and it's going to be physical, is what we're trained to do. But that was my biggest thing, was just kind of be a fan. Yes, cheer for your team. That's okay. But at the same time, this is our job. I'm not going to hurt E-Dub, and she knows that. I'm actually checking to make sure she's okay. So I don't like the instigating. It doesn't help our game. It doesn't grow our game. So that's what I was telling people, just to kind of relax. Like, it's okay.
Fans are fed up with seeing Griner receive star treatment while bulldozing her way through games like a wrecking ball with a ponytail. This isn't just poor optics. It's risking the league's future. The WNBA is finally on the cusp of mainstream recognition, and instead of capitalizing on this momentum with professionalism and strategy, they're handing the spotlight to chaos and controversy. Every time Griner shoves a player or erupts into another unchecked outburst, the league's credibility takes a hit. Similarly, when Caitlin Clark gets fouled without a call, the audience's trust in the game diminishes a little more. And each time the league looks the other way, it fuels the perception that the league protects its own, no matter the cost to fairness or integrity. Now, fans are organizing boycotts, not out of apathy, but out of frustration. They're tuning out because they care deeply about the sport's future. They wanted to see the WNBA rise, support its players, and elevate women's basketball to new heights. Instead, they're witnessing a circus of elbows, entitlement, and egos running wild like it's spring break in Vegas. What should have been a golden era is now tarnished, a punchline in the making. The league had one job: nurture growth and stability. Yet, they're allowing the worst instincts of a few players to tarnish the entire game. It's not just Caitlin Clark under fire, it's the very integrity of women's basketball at stake.
This league, but it seems like maybe they are trying to hide something. They certainly do not want anybody with an opposing viewpoint covering their league. Now, mind you, this is a league that's never turned a profit. This is a league that, even with Caitlin Clark having joined this league last year, lost $40 million. Now, they got a new media rights deal coming, and that's going to bump up to about $220 million a year. But even that won't matter if something happens and Caitlin Clark's ratings disappear.
If the league continues to let players like Brittney Griner turn the court into a personal vendetta arena, someone's going to get seriously hurt, physically, emotionally, or both. At this rate, the WNBA's slogan might as well be "where aggression meets immunity." And fans? They're not buying it. They're calling out the chaos loudly, frequently, and with proof in hand. Because the real story isn't just that Griner's out here throwing elbows, it's that the league keeps turning a blind eye while pretending everything's fine. Spoiler alert, it's not. We followed Caitlin Clark into the WNBA like curious tourists wandering into a back alley jazz club, unsure if it was real until the lights flickered on and a trumpet wailed. Before her, the league was that blurry channel you skip past when searching for reruns of The Office. But once Clark arrived, everything changed. Suddenly, people were tuning in, not because the league rolled out a brilliant marketing campaign, but because Clark plays basketball that makes you drop your phone, scream at the TV, and briefly believe in miracles. She didn't just show up, she exploded onto the scene. Logo threes, court vision that seems divine, and more swag than the league's entire marketing team could script in a decade. That's what kept viewers glued, not pre-game speeches or overhyped hype reels, but Clark's game-changing presence that made everyone sit up and pay attention.
Griner just called Caitlin Clark a trash effing white girl. Caitlin Clark has been picked on and abused ever since she entered the league in 2024, and now Brittney Griner is joining in on the action, saying that she is an effing white trash white girl because after she fouled out, she decided to take her anger and frustration out on Caitlin Clark. If the roles were reversed, imagine the type of field day the media would be having right now. Let's all remember the character of Brittney Griner. This is the same woman who got caught smoking weed in Russia and was jailed. And then Joe Biden made a trade for the Merchant of Death and returned him back to Russia for him to continue doing the same shenanigans that he was doing before he got arrested. He sold $10 million of arms to the Houthis. You think this?
It's not about social justice slogans slapped across jerseys like cheap bumper stickers. It's Caitlin Clark, pure, unfiltered basketball talent, a walking highlight reel in a league that was once allergic to excitement. But let's be honest, the longer we watch, the more obvious it becomes that the league might be sabotaging its own rising star. Somewhere along the way, someone in WNBA HQ must have decided that physicality is the new personality. They probably watched one too many 90s NBA clips and thought, you know what we need? More bruises and fewer buckets. Now, what we're witnessing isn't just basketball. It's borderline sanctioned battery with the occasional layup. It's as if someone set the difficulty to Fight Club and forgot to tell the ref. Caitlin gets hammered every other play like it's a full-contact sport, yet the whistle remains glued to the referee's hip. Meanwhile, if she so much as exhales too hard on an opponent, it's an immediate foul, accompanied by a lecture from 3 officials and a Gatorade bottle. The inconsistency of calls is laughable, like a roulette wheel spinning with sneakers. One night it's a flagrant, the next it's just good hustle. Referees have become the league's true MVPs. Not most valuable players, but most volatile predictors. They sway game outcomes more than the players themselves. Want to secure a tight win? Better hope your team gets the officiating crew that actually knows the rules and isn't just winging it after a late-night YouTube binge on street ball. The league's obsession with physicality over skill is turning what should be pure basketball into a chaotic, unpredictable spectacle.
This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year, outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Then won a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the #1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats. She's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who...
Right now, Caitlin Clark isn't just facing defenders. She's fighting against a league that seems unsure of how to manage the phenomenon it unintentionally created. Amid all the chaos, body checks, no calls, shoulder bumps disguised as defense, Caitlin continues to shine. She still drops 30 points, pulls defenders out to the parking lot, and drains shots with that signature smile. It's like watching someone juggle flaming chainsaws while riding a unicycle. Dangerous, underappreciated, and utterly captivating. She's not just good, she's historically great. And somehow, she manages to entertain despite the league's efforts to turn every game into a gritty remake of American Gladiators. Let's also acknowledge the other elephant in the gym agenda overload. From the first tip-off to the final buzzer, viewers are subtly nudged, prodded, and sometimes lectured into supporting whatever cause is trending that week. It's no longer just about basketball. Now every play feels like a manifesto, with fans expected to process messages alongside their free throws. We get it, causes matter. But most fans tuned in for bounce passes, not political statements. Sometimes, a pick and roll should just be a pick and roll, not a symbolic stand for international diplomacy or social issues. The focus on agendas is distracting from the game's purest moments and diluting the sport's excitement.
Let me be clear about this. If Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She is the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially.
People aren't tuning in to Caitlin Clark because they want to be converted into activists or emotionally manipulated by halftime reports. They're watching her because she offers something rare in the WNBA: genuine excitement. Raw, thrilling basketball that speaks for itself. She doesn't need to dunk over someone, scowl for the camera, or deliver a monologue about culture wars. She just plays. And thank goodness for that, because without her, most viewers would have tuned out faster than a half-hearted apology press conference. What makes the situation even more absurd is how the league and some veteran stars have responded. Instead of celebrating and embracing the biggest star the WNBA has ever seen, they act like Caitlin's presence threatens the league's ecosystem. Like she's the new kid who's too talented, too white, and too cool to sit at their lunch table. But here's the truth. She didn't ask to be the face of the league. She just showed up, dropped dimes, and refused to tone down her brilliance. And if her talent makes some longtime players feel a little salty, that's a them problem. Greatness has never asked for permission. Michael Jordan didn't wait for the Pistons to approve his legend. Serena Williams didn't tiptoe into tennis. Caitlin is rewriting the narrative simply by doing what she does best, playing her game unapologetically.
Kind of basketball talk, but you've got to go back to Caitlin Clark just for a second. So she breaks the record, or I guess tied, technically, for most 20-point games and 10 assist games. And she's played one season.
Yeah.
One season. Against Taurasi and another player who played how many seasons?
15.
Right. And you're not telling me that this is not the best player in the W.
And Caitlin Clark isn't waiting around for a handshake from Brittney Griner before shaking up the league. The fans see it, the cameras see it, and deep down, even her critics understand it. But the WNBA? It's mishandling this golden moment. Instead of building around Caitlin's rising star, it's caught up in petty disputes over respect and paying dues. Like some underground fight club. They should be selling out arenas, showcasing her talent, but instead, they're pushing the idea that aggression and hostility are the new standards. Spoiler alert? They're not. That's just laziness, a poor substitute for actual skill and teamwork. If the league keeps pushing that narrative, it's going to lose viewers faster than Angel Reese runs out of patience. Caitlin is the reason people are tuning in. That's not a dig. It's a lifeline. The league didn't earn this moment. It lucked into it. And if it continues to let poor officiating, hyper-aggressive play, and pointless drama take center stage, it'll push away the very audience it just gained. Fans didn't come for the theatrics. They came for the jump shots, the handles, the long threes that defy logic. They came to watch Caitlin Clark. If the WNBA doesn't figure that out soon, they'll watch her carry the sport straight into a different league. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.